I think we're live, Sersie, Lee, we're
Okay,
live.
awesome. Hey, everyone. I'm going to look on the computer here.
Hello.
Hey.
Yeah, so we're just double checking some stuff here. Had a little technical difficulty at the start. Having some Wi-Fi internet connection issues
Okay.
over here.
All right, I see it online, so I'm good here.
Okay, good.
All right, so I'll be able to check the chat and all that stuff. Okay, perfect.
Oh, awesome.
Turn the volume off there. All righty.
All right, so I guess we'll get started. So welcome everybody to another Cook and Chat Girls Night In. We are so honored to have Dr. Lee Ettinger, who is a pediatrician and obesity specialist. If you haven't listened to our podcast, Healthy for My Purpose podcast episode with him, definitely go back and check it out. But we had so much fun interviewing him and talking to him on the podcast. We were like, you got to come on our little Cook and Chat show.
Yes.
I think we recorded that interview. It was like, I think like maybe 20, 25 minutes or so. And then we just kept talking and talking and talking and talking. I was like, hey, I already stopped the recording. And so then we had to restart the recording and try. But anyway, Lee, do you want to kind of introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you and what you're doing.
Yeah, I had fun on the podcast too. And thanks for having me back here for the Girls Night Cook and Chat. So about me. So I go by the name Dr. Herbivore on social media because I'm trying to get kids to eat more fruits and vegetables, to eat more plant-based for their health and wellness. And I'm an obesity expert, so I'm really trying to address the pediatric obesity epidemic with a plant-based diet.
Nice. Awesome. All right, drum roll. So what are we making today, Gigi?
All right, so I know. So, okay, we're doing a little recipe test here, y'all. I didn't tell you this like beforehand. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
See, what happened was, I mean, Lee, I think you were the one that said you wanted to do something like a post-workout, or maybe I just dreamt that. Is that right? You wanted to do some like a post-workout meal or something?
You proposed that and it sounded good to me.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where it originated from, but so the story behind this dish, and right now I'm calling it a lentil quinoa power salad. There's actually a story. Okay. So when I was living in Mississippi, and this was back in 2013, my friend Terry Sullivan and Meredith invited me to go on a 10-mile kayak trip in the bayou in Louisiana. And it originated from a place that had only one place to eat, and it was like a barbecue place. And I remember thinking, okay, I know I'm going to be like in the woods in the bayou of Louisiana, and there's no way I'm going to find anything that I'm going to want to eat. And so I decided to come up with this salad that I basically drove to Louisiana. So I think it was like a 2-hour drive from Mississippi to wherever we were meeting in Louisiana. And then we were in the kayak, kayaking. I don't know how long we did this kayak trip for, but it was a while. And then of course, afterwards I was hoping to have something to eat. Well, I didn't have a cooler, I just had basically a Tupperware container of this salad that we're going to make tonight that basically stayed with me the entire trip until I ate it after the actual kayak adventure. And so I'm saying this because it wasn't refrigerated. I didn't eat it. It was kind of hot, not hot, but I guess like ambient or room temperature, if you will, because it was sitting in the kayak with me. I had it double bagged, like in a plastic bag situation in case I fell out of the kayak. And so, but I didn't fall out the kayak. I stayed in the whole time. And so anyway, this is what I ate after that 10-mile adventure. And it was, you know, I'm sure a lot of it was because I was really starving and hungry, but it was really good. It totally hit the spot, you know, nutritionally. And I didn't know it at the time, but I do know now that it was probably one of the best things I could have eaten, just because of the macronutrient content as well as the micronutrient benefits. And so what's in this salad will be lentils, so green or brown lentils, quinoa, onion, red pepper, jalapeno, garlic, curry, a little bit of black powder, some coconut aminos, kale, and some raisins, just to kind of counterbalance the spiciness. And then we'll kind of top it off with some fresh parsley and pumpkin seeds. You know, the one thing I failed to add to the recipe I sent y'all was either lemon juice or lime juice, but that's something you could certainly add later.
Okay.
So that's kind of the story behind this salad, and it can be eaten cold, room temperature. It could even be, you know, served up hot, you know, as more of an entree. So that's what's going on over here. It looks like we got a couple of people joining. Sersie, we've got Marie. Hey, Marie. We've got Gigi Creole. Hey, Gigi. she's tuning in on LinkedIn, so we're streaming on LinkedIn as well.
Okay, nice. If anyone's on Facebook, I see a couple people. Just say hi so we can acknowledge you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So you were worried about what to eat, but were you worried at all about being eaten? Were there alligators along the kayak?
You know, I guess, you know, I just tuned that part out. I wasn't worried about it, but it was kind of in the back of my mind. But I knew I was with like a larger group, so I think there might have been about 10 or 12 of us on this trip. But I remember kind of staying close to my friend Laura Allgood. She's like a powerhouse, and you know, I figured if I got into a little alligator rumble that she would kind of help me out. So
oh wow,
I knew she'd have my back.
You would be a good post-recovery meal for an alligator.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lee.
I mean that in the kindest sense, of course.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. All right. So I think so. Lee and Sersie, did you all cook your lentils beforehand and your quinoa?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm good.
Awesome.
My quinoa turned out good. My lentils turned out a little mushy. Do you have any tips for making them less mushy?
Little al dente.
You know, I wouldn't worry too much about it. You know, I think probably sometimes it's might have overcooked just a little bit, but you know, I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's not supposed to be like red lentil, like split pea mushy, but if some of it kind of breaks apart, that's no biggie. It's just more the aesthetic and the texture of it, not the taste or the nutrition. So it's still going to taste the same and still be nutritionally solid. You know, lentils are such a great source of iron and protein.
Indeed.
So no biggie on that front.
But I'm gonna pump the instant pot, Lee. I don't know if you have one.
Yes.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
So if you use the Instant Pot and you put a cup of lentils to, if I'm correct, it's 1 3/4 of water, and you just do it for like 7 minutes, it comes out nice and al dente.
Okay. Good.
So if you tweak, you have to just tweak the minutes, and if you Google it, you'll get all kind of ways, and then you can get it perfect in the Instant Pot. So if you have one, there's a tip.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cersei's like an Instant Pot genius.
Yeah, I love my Instant Pot. So.
I like what you said about the lemon or lime juice also, because that helps us absorb the iron that's in the lentils.
Yeah, the vitamin
Are we supposed
C.
to squeeze it on top in the end?
That's kind of what I do. Yeah.
Okay. I think I might have a lemon or something like that. Do you have one, Lee, in your fridge somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we could squeeze it on top after. Perfect.
Yeah.
I think
okay, awesome. Okay, cool. Okay, so I guess we'll go ahead. We'll start just by preheating our pan. So we always dry saute on our cooking show, so we don't use oil. And so we'll just preheat our pan over medium heat, medium high heat.
So how many is a half a cup of dried lentils end up being a cup when it's cooked?
Yeah, it was, mine came out to
Okay.
about a cup cooked. Yeah.
Okay. Same thing with the quinoa?
Yeah, about the same. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. So y'all were talking before we went live about your Peloton. You
Oh,
have
yeah.
like code names with that?
Yeah, we're gonna email each other the names because see, I already forgot your name. Rick, what was it?
Oh, it's so I'm a kidney doctor too, a pediatric nephrologist. So
Yeah.
I chose the name Nephric, Nephric, which
Oh,
means
I got it.
of
Yeah.
or pertaining to the kidneys. So
Yes.
I'm Nephric I got a little kidney icon next to my name too.
Oh, okay,
So
cool.
if you see me on the leaderboard, and
Okay.
I'm in a Facebook group called Pello Vegans.
So am I. I'm in the same one.
Oh, you're in that group? All right, cool.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
I am in
that's
the
a
same
fun
one.
group.
Yes. So we've probably been in different rides together than just from that. Yeah. I'm in the same group.
Oh,
Yeah. So
that's
look
cute.
at that. We've been riding together and didn't even know it.
Didn't even know.
Oh, that's so cute. Yes. So Lee, you're not a Zwifter then, or you're not on Strava?
I'm on Strava. Yes, I'm on Strava. Big fan of Strava. I'm not on Zwift. So I don't know if your audience knows those. You want to say what those are, or you want me to say?
Yeah. So so some of the folks watching, I know some of my cycling peeps know what it is. So Zwift is basically a virtual riding world. So you have your own avatar, and there's no code names. I mean, you can make up a name, but most people just put their normal name and in real life name. And so you just go into these, you have your choice of like 3 different worlds that you can go into, and then they have different courses within each of those 3 worlds. Okay. And what's really cool about it is they have organized races, and the way they do that, it's like, how do you race someone in a virtual world? Well, it comes down to this kind of metric. It's watts per kilogram, and I'm sure y'all have that in Peloton too. You look at your watts.
Yeah.
Your power output. So your power is going to be a function of both the force on the pedal as well as the cadence. So the revolutions per minute. And then they take into consideration your weight in kilograms. So what they do is the algorithm kind of projects your speed or estimates your speed on flat terrains and different hills, based on what you put in as far as your body weight. So there's this thing called I didn't know this until kind of recently, but I think it's called virtual doping. I think it is.
Yeah,
it's like when people put in their fake body weight to kind of get their speed up. Right. It's so ridiculous.
Wow.
It's like, why do
so
that?
There's even doping in the virtual world?
Yeah, I really want to understand the psychology of the people who do that, but why?
Yeah.
Why
do
that?
I don't know.
I guess winning at all costs, I guess. I don't know.
But nobody really knows who you are and who you're proving it to.
You don't get anything for it.
You don't get it. Yeah, you're not winning money or.
Yeah.
People. There are Peloton dopers too.
Really?
Yeah.
In
Have
what
you heard
sense?
I don't know. So people, you can look at the leaderboard.
Yeah.
And some of the top times for these rides are just beyond what Lance Armstrong could do at the peak of his fitness and doping career. It's like, the professional cyclists, they'll do 430 watts for a half an hour. And then you have like 50-year-old guys on Peloton doing 500 watts for an hour. It just doesn't make sense.
No.
How are they? Yeah.
I hear what people do is you somehow hack the resistance knob.
Well, again, what is the point in all that? Like,
yeah. So you hack the resistance knob, so the machine thinks you're pedaling at a very high resistance, but it's very easy for you. And so it does the math as if you're putting out these tremendous watts. But again, why? Like, who you proven that to? I don't understand it. I wish someone could explain why they do that.
are you pretty competitive on that board, Lee?
I try to be.
Okay.
I try to be.
Yeah.
I do. Have you set up your FTP? That's another thing we can talk about.
I did my FPT. I did do that. Yeah.
Right.
Because
how do you all
one people that I do is Matt Wilpers. He's my one of my number ones. I love him. Yeah.
He does all the.
So how do you measure that? Rides. Is it a 20-minute FTP? Is it a 20-minute FTP?
Yeah. So
okay.
FTP. My daughter was like, "Does that mean fastest time possible?" I'm like, kind of close. It's your functional threshold power, right? So you do it. There's a class in there you can find which gives you the 20 minutes to figure out your FTP. You just go as hard as you can for 20 minutes.
Yeah. And I'm gonna ask you a personal question. What's your FTP, Lee?
I'm pleased to say it's been creeping up. I'm up to 278 watts for 20 minutes.
Okay, so what's your kilograms?
So that's
what's your body weight?
That's enough. So that gives me I just hit 4 watts per kilo. So
okay,
I'm pleased with that. As a nearly 50-year-old man.
I'm gonna get my speaker, guys, because I could barely hear you guys. I'm gonna get my speaker.
Okay.
Be right.
Okay.
As a nearly 50-year-old man, I'm kind of pleased with that. Hitting 4 watts per kilo. That's like kind of respectable. I hope. I think.
Yeah, that's legit. Yeah.
But it's nowhere near like the Tour de France riders. They're like 6 watts, 6.5 watts per kilo. How about you?
Wild.
What kind of numbers are you pushing as a master cyclist yourself?
Yeah. So I don't remember what the watts per kilogram is. I think we're getting some echoing.
Oh, sorry. Let me see.
It might. Okay.
Better now. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's better. Yeah. So I turn my.
Are you guys putting your onions in?
Yeah, you could put your onions in if you want. Yeah, and start dry sauteing. So Lee, I don't remember the ratio. I could calculate it real quick, but my phone is tied up on this broadcast. But so I'm 68 kilograms, and my 20-minute is 291. I think 290 or 291.
So you're smashing it. That's very impressive.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's over 4 though. Is that over 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
So as we're talking these numbers, what it means is if you and I were riding uphill together, you would smoke me.
Oh, okay. I do like climbing hills though.
Yeah. So
I'm a big girl, but I like climbing hills.
You would be a fading dot into my horizon as you go up that hill.
Aww.
So that's very good. That's very impressive.
Wow. All right, so we've got Ida on watching as well. Hey Ida, what's going on? Yeah, I'm getting a few names pop up here. All right, so I got my onions in, and we're gonna dry saute that for a few minutes. And then we can add our bell pepper, jalapeno, and garlic. Ooh, I forgot to mince my garlic.
But for people on Peloton, we talk about these numbers. For you, it can be a good way to kind of test yourself every once in a while. You don't do it frequently; you do it infrequently. Yeah. And you can see if your 20-minute power average improves, then you're improving. But even if you can improve in another way, you could stay the same watts for average for that 20 minutes. But if you've lost a little weight, then you've improved also, because that means you'll go uphill faster. So this is just a way of being competitive with yourself. And if you don't know if you're getting better or not, you can always just check your FTP and see.
Yeah, I'm going to do mine over. Thanks. Do that.
But I like the competitive nature of it, getting on the leaderboard and stuff. And I'd like to share a study with you that I read about the benefits of the competition.
Oh, tell me. Yeah.
Yeah. So they took a group of amateur cyclists for the study and had them practice and get good at a 1.2 mile indoor Zwift race, like you said, like a virtual race. And they said, okay, today's your race day. They put them alone in a room and said, go as hard as you can for that 1.2 miles. Give it all you got. You gotta, totally go as fast as you. This is your best max effort ever. And so the guys did that, and then they had them come back and said, okay, now we're going to have you do that same race, but there's a guy in another room, and you can see him racing. You can see his screen where he is. And he can see where you are. You're going to go head to head with that guy racing. And in that race situation, these guys were able to go about 2% faster over that race course on average. And then afterwards, they learned that that guy in the other room was not another person. It was their previous best race when they were told to give their maximum effort. So even though they thought they had given their maximum effort, when they were put head to head against themselves, they were able to improve. So it just goes to show the benefits of a little competition. They improved by on average 2% faster.
Wow. So I've got.
So the point is, when you're on the Peloton, don't hide the leaderboard. It's there. It's there to make you go faster.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I don't usually hide it, but I have to pay a lot more attention to it. That's what I need to do.
Are we on the second step yet? Because I didn't use onions because I don't care for onions.
Yeah, we've got so we've got the peppers, garlic, jalapeno in the pan, and we're sauteing that.
Peppers too? Okay.
All right, I'm catching up to you.
And then stir in the curry powder. And let that cook for another minute or so. I love curry.
So I really enjoy cycling. I like to say it's the most fun I have with my clothes on.
Yeah.
Think about that for a moment.
Yeah.
So Lee, why don't you tell us how, when and how and why and how you became plant-based, like your story around that.
Happy to share that story. I just need to focus on this step. What step are you on now?
What's that?
The pepper and the garlic.
Okay.
Yeah, pepper, garlic, and curry powder.
How many tablespoons do you do? More closer to 2 or?
You talking about the curry?
Yeah. You said 2
I
to
just
3.
do 2 to 3 teaspoons.
Oh.
Teaspoons. Yeah.
So
I mean, you
turn
could add more
back.
after you taste it. If it feels like you need a little more, but. Yeah, so this is smelling good. Anytime you put yellow curry into a pan, and let those aromas just it just smells beautiful. I love curry.
You put any liquid, or you just keep it going dry with
What was that, Sersie?
you keep it going dry so it gets all the way, or you put a little liquid, or you just keep dry, like keeping it dry?
Are you talking about the liquid aminos?
No, I'm saying, do you
just the
keep the sauté dry, or do you add any liquid to this?
No, I keep it. It's kind of like, I'm trying to think what it's like. It's not a saucy dish. It's more like what would be a good analogy? It's like a almost like a couscous salad. You know, like you've ever had like a little couscous salad where it's kind of, it's not really wet, but it's also not bone dry. It's kind of somewhere in the middle.
All right. So what do we now?
All right.
What are you doing now? What step are you on now?
I just added my quinoa and lentils to the pan, so I'm now getting my kale ready to put into the pan.
Your
I
kale?
hadn't chopped that one yet. Yeah, I have to chop it first. Every time I chop kale, my dog Brie comes over here because she loves kale. There you go, Brie. All right. Okay, so I added my kale. I'm gonna put the lid on and just let it wilt. Kind of steam a little bit. All right.
Oh, it smells good.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So Lee, what's your story? Tell us.
So, have you heard of Dorian Ryder, the YouTube content creator?
Mm-hmm. Didn't he date the banana lady?
Yeah, Freely, the banana
I
girl,
remember
right?
that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was around 2000. It was 2014. As I said, I enjoy cycling. I was watching cycling videos on YouTube, and this video suggestion popped up from him. It was stuff that cyclists say, silly stuff, stupid stuff cyclists say, or something like that. So I watched his video, and it was very creative, very funny, a lot of inside jokes that cyclists would understand. And I'm like, oh, this is really funny. So let me see what else this guy's doing. And so then I watched a more of a nutrition video from him, and he's suggesting to when you go for a bike ride, take the brown spotty banana instead of the yellow banana, because the yellow banana is all starchy. It's going to take you hours to digest. You're not going to get the sugar until you're sitting on the couch later that night. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. The brown spotty banana is much more sugary. That's going to give you the energy on your ride. So I'm like, let me see what else this guy's doing. And so it turns out he's vegan, and he's doing all these epic bike rides, like on eating mangoes and rice. I'm like, how's that possible? Where does he get his protein? All the usual questions. So I started to look into it about the plant-based diet. next learned from Dr. McDougall, books, Dr. Esselstyn, Dr. Cadwell. Really went out and tried to understand what this was, and actually realized that I was actually at my heaviest at that time. And thinking that it was time maybe to make some changes and try this plant-based diet, which at first surprised my wife. She's like, what are you doing? My body mass index was 25. No one would look at me and say that I was heavy, but I thought it was time for change. My blood pressure was borderline high. My cholesterol was high. I was in my early 40s. So I started to kind of make some decisions and want to eat healthier. And the more I learned about it, the more it seemed great. And then learning about the environmental impacts of our food choices, the animal welfare issues, it all just kind of made sense to me. So I went in. I can't pick an exact date in 2014, but it was springtime, so like right around now. And so in about a year and a half, I lost 25 pounds, which really improved my cycling. My blood pressure got better. My cholesterol came down. And now my weight's been stable for the last 6 years. But what I'm really pleased about is that my all those blood pressure and stuff like that still stays good, but that my cycling has gotten better and better. Even though I'm the same weight, certainly, like we said, your FTP, your watts per kilo, is going to improve as you lose weight. So my FTP improved, but now, even though my weight's stable, my FTP is still improving. And as you mentioned, Strava, that's an app that follows your bike routes that you do get uploaded, and you can see how you do on different sections, different segments, and see how you compare to others. And it's been very pleasing to me that I've been improving on the segments that I do over the years. So I'm getting stronger. So for me, the plant-based diet has really been very helpful and effective, and I'm thriving, and I really enjoy talking about it.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm glad you mentioned the kind of getting older but still getting better, like improving. Like just over the weekend, I did this. There's this course on Zwift called Road to the Sky or something. Well, basically it's this out to Zwift, which is this climb up this virtual mountain, and I actually PR'd my time just on this couple days ago on Saturday, and I'd ridden that route. I think it said like 15 times before. And so the fact that, I'm older, I'm over 50 now, Sersie gets sick of me saying this, but I'm postmenopausal. She's like, stop telling people that. No, she doesn't say that. But you're getting better. That's the thing.
Yeah.
The food you eat plays such a huge role. And I don't know if you've read. There's a book. I think her name is Dr. Elizabeth Blackburn. She talks about telomeres and as far as the longevity, an indicator of longevity. And Dr. Dean Ornish also had done some work in that area as well. And they showed you can lengthen your telomeres by eating a whole food, plant-based nutrition plan. It's the only nutrition plan that's been proven to be able to do that. Now, certainly, so in some cases you're kind of reversing aging or at least slowing it down. And that's exciting to see. And I could see that happening. I could feel that, especially, when you're eating all those whole foods in or close to their most natural state. I mean, if you're eating things like, faux meats and that kind of thing, you're not going to get the benefits of the antioxidants and phytochemicals.
Right.
But it's just exciting to see that,
Yeah, it's like instant feedback. You might see your doctor once a year, get blood tests once a year, get your blood pressure checked. But to PR on Strava or on Zwift or on Peloton, it's like instant feedback that what you're doing is working, and I really like that aspect of it too.
Yeah.
PR,
So
personal record.
personal
Yeah.
record. Yep. PR.
I don't know.
Personal record. Yep. So, all right. How is your kale? Is it wilting or?
Yeah, everything's wilted now. So is that's
Okay.
it.
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna
so
give
that's it.
mine
All
another
you do
minute.
is you throw some fresh parsley on it. You could sprinkle some pumpkin seed, some lemon juice, and then taste it. And then, I mean, you could taste it now before you do all that, but hopefully it's good. I wrote this down off of my memory, so hopefully it's good. All righty, we get the pumpkin seeds. So Lee, do you have other people in your house that are plant-based as well, or are you the only one?
Right. So I was the first, and what convinced my wife was actually Rich Roll. We read his
Rich roll, yeah.
books, and she was listening to his podcasts, and she helped me convince. He helped me convince her. So she's been plant-based and very passionate about it. I have 3 kids, 15-year-old twins and a 12-year-old. And one of the 15-year-olds is a girl, and she's like 99% plant-based herself.
Wow.
And she's really she's a star high school runner, which is exciting to see her thriving. My other daughter is 12, and she's very plant-based in our house for sure. But certainly when out with friends, she enjoys pizza.
Yeah.
And then my son is plant-based in the house or vegetarian in the house because he eats. He asks for dairy cheese, but then when he's out with his friends, certainly he eats meat, animal products, and then he likes to come home and tell us about it. But that's okay.
Yeah.
But I just hope that's the way we keep our household. We like to lead by example.
Yeah.
We're very active people. We're constantly participating in winter sports like skiing, snowshoeing, and then in the summer and the spring it's cycling. And my wife's a big rock climber. She's actually on a rock climbing trip with friends right now at Red Rocks. So I like to lead by example. So my kids see their friends' parents our age, and they're not healthy and they're not active, and there could be any number of reasons why, but I hope that we at least are setting a good example for our kids to be healthy and active and eat healthier foods, so that hopefully it clicks with them in that way, just by setting a good example for them.
Yeah, I love that you said that, Dr. Lee, because it's that is so empowering to know that, it's not even about everything being perfect, but setting that example, kids will revert back to it. They have that tools in their basket, and, they are starting off a lot better than they would have. So yeah, that's nice.
How about in your households?
Well, for
In my
me,
household,
yeah, go ahead, Gigi.
oh yeah, I wasn't sure if he was. Were you talking to me, Lee, or Sersie?
Both of you. I don't know your
Okay.
situation.
Yeah. So Kevin. So it's just me and Kevin, and we're both plant-based vegan. Yeah. Kevin pretty much eats. I mean, he's the recipient of all the recipe testing and stuff that we do for a recipe blog. But yeah.
Yeah, and then for me, it's just me, my daughter, and my husband. So my daughter, she pretty much eats plant-based with me, and my husband is still in process. Yeah. That's it. Have you guys already tried this? I see you guys eating. You guys already tried
I
it?
haven't tried mine yet. You know, the other thing I forgot that I have done before with this is I've added sliced avocado before. Not when I did my kayak trip, but just in general. So let me know, what do you guys think of it?
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's got a good mouthfeel with the crunchy
Yeah.
and the tender lentils, the crunchy pumpkin seeds.
Yeah, it's good.
This is another good travel food.
I think this will be good cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it for lunch tomorrow.
Yeah.
And one of my daughters, I think, would like it for her lunch too.
Yeah.
The runner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this would be good for the runner for sure.
For my lunch tomorrow as well.
So, Dr. Herbivore, you've got some events coming up, don't you?
Oh yes, thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a pediatrician. I enjoy taking care of kids and helping address their eating and lifestyle. But I also enjoy talking to adult groups about the plant-based diet and making dietary and lifestyle changes. So yes, thank you. I do have, I've been giving free webinars, and I do have 2 coming up. March 29th, I'll be talking about how to avoid deficiencies on the plant-based diet. Like previously we talked about, squeezing lemon on your foods can help. The vitamin C can help you absorb iron. So I'll be talking about things like that. That's on March 29th. And then April 5th, I'm going to really do a very basic talk about what is in your food, but more of a plant-centric view. So talking about vitamins and minerals, it's not that the calcium comes from the cow. The calcium is a rock in the ground that the edible plants absorb. So really trying to give the basics of nutrition from a more plant-centric point of view. And I'll be joined by a woman who's going to talk about how to pick the most nutritious foods at farmers markets and the grocery store. And so really trying to give a very back to basics kind of education information for people to use for practical food choices and things. So those 2 are coming up. So yeah, you can learn about them on my Dr. Herbivore website, drherbivore.com, or search me out there on Eventbrite. So if you search for my name, Ettinger, for a free online class, you can find it there too.
Awesome.
Thanks.
That's
They're free.
Hey, Demetria, I think that's who's on Facebook. Hey, for all the Facebook watchers out there. Yeah, this is really delicious, and I'm really looking forward to like having it cold for lunch tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
So I'm trying to estimate. I think I had this like I said, in my car, in the kayak, like I want to say probably about 6 hours just sitting out. Like, because there's no animal products in it, so you don't have to worry about salmonella and that kind of thing. After a period of time, you have to worry about mold, but not 6 hours.
Yeah.
But it's one of it's one of these things where you could like take this with you if you had to go on a plane trip or something like that, and you wanted something healthy. You just pack a little Tupperware container of this, and you've got a great meal for the plane, or for the car. If you're driving somewhere. So, yeah, it's just a great, like I said, great post-workout meal nutritionally. It like checks all the boxes.
Yeah, it's very versatile.
Yeah, this will be good for breakfast as well.
Yeah, I would eat this for breakfast.
Especially if you put a piece of avocado, you're good to go.
So, Lee, you were telling me about, we're switching gears back to bicycles again. You were telling me about a bike trip. It's like, I think in July in Europe or something.
Oh, yes. So yeah, my college roommate, he's a month older than me. And so we're both turning 50 in a few months. And he contacted me. He wasn't a cyclist in college. He was actually a soccer player. but he's like, hey, but he's done some pretty epic bike stuff, and he's a triathlete now. So he's like, hey, we gotta ride across some foreign country to celebrate our 50th birthdays. I'm like, all right. So we started looking into it, and we decided on a 6-day tour across the Pyrenees in southern France during the Tour de France. So we'll be riding some of the same mountains. Like there's the very famous Tourmalet mountain, and we'll get some like VIP experiences with the professional cyclists. So that's what I'm training for these days. Now my friend, he's got a massive FTP. He can push 300 watts for an hour.
Wow.
So he's very strong, but he's heavier than me. So he's kind of worried about riding with me in the uphills, and I'm kind of worried about riding with him on the downhills and flats. So we're gonna be pushing each other in our respective areas. I think it'll be quite fun. But the nice thing is, so I contacted the tour company. Could they feed a hungry vegan? And actually got a very nice response back right away by email that actually they seem to get that request more and more each year.
Oh, nice.
And which is nice. And they said that did they say most? They said at least several of their tour guides are vegan too.
Oh, wonderful.
So yeah,
so able to,
I requested a vegan tour guide so that I don't have to explain, where I get my protein from.
Yeah.
in French.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. It's gonna be like one of the more epic things I've done on the bike. So it's gonna be a big challenge. So that's what I'm.
You know what I love? I like the idea of vacationing around physical fitness. Do you know what I mean? Like you're kind of doing 2 in 1. You're doing something. It's something I think I'm going to look into for myself too. It's kind of nice to, go away and do something that's physical and still enjoy the place that you're at as well. So yeah, that sounds exciting.
Yeah.
I love to see the pictures when you come back.
Oh yeah. I'll definitely, I'll be posting. Gigi, have you ever done anything like that, such like a bike tour like that, or even a race like that?
I would love to like pack myself in your suitcase.
Yeah, Gigi, you need to go to one of those.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I was gonna ask you, Lee, are you gonna ship your bike, or are you gonna rent something?
Yeah, they provide a rental bike. So yeah, the cost of shipping the bike, bringing the bike, versus right. So they're very professional. They had me measure my bike. They asked for certain measurements, and so they're going to set up the rental bike exactly the same way.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, that's important. So you feel comfortable.
Yeah,
and
right.
You bring your own saddle. You bring your own pedals, which are the contact points with the bike.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll be a comfortable. It's not going to be comfortable, but hopefully it's not going to, there's nothing comfortable about 80 miles over mountains. But
how long are you staying?
It's 6 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And the rides are anywhere from like 40 to 80 miles per day. You can pick.
Not too bad. That's not too bad.
40 to 80. Except they're over mountains. It's like, going up to 6,000 feet and then down again, and then going up to 6,000 feet and down again. It's gonna be big.
It's interesting, Lee. I find the descents to be harder. I mean, you're exerting yourself physically going up the hill, but the drop, especially if it's a steep, kind of grade. I don't know. I find those to be more challenging. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I'll get like where I live, it's cold like pretty much all year round. I mean, the summers it'll get a little warm, but you're sweating going up, and then you're coming down and you're just ice cold. And then because of where kind of the hills that we have, there's a lot of hairpin turns, and it gets a little sketchy, and you have to really be alert and watch what you're doing and be ready to kind of apply the brakes a little bit to slow yourself down. But it can be it's exhilarating and fun, but also can be a little bit scary for me, at least on the descents.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I have too many responsibilities to go flying off of a mountain in pursuit
Yeah.
of some adrenaline rush. I tend to be very cautious on the downhills too. I don't have anything to prove. um, yeah.
Yeah. So Demetrius says that's a good idea. I think I'm going to have new wellness goals, fitness centered vacations. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. And Lee, do you have those Garmin pedals by chance? The Garmin pedals where you
N-
can get your power and cadence?
No, no. I ride speed plays, and actually, Wahoo just put out a speed play power meter. It's $1,000 for the pedals. I'm thinking about it. I rode with a power meter, in my wheel many years ago, but it was very finicky, and I was very frustrated. The battery ran out the day of a race.
Oh no.
I was so frustrated. But yeah, I ended up getting rid of that wheel set. They were very disappointing overall. So I've been riding without a power meter since then. I'm thinking about getting another one. The data is fun for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
I've got the Garmin pedals. Kevin bought me a new bike and those pedals for my birthday last year, and I love them because you can you could take them off and put them on other bikes
yeah,
and they measure the power, the right left balance, in terms of if you've got some, one side more dominant than the other, and the cadence and all of that. So it's pretty cool, and it displays right there on your Garmin computer, or whatever computer you're using. So yeah, I if you're into power and riding with power, I recommend them. They're good. They're really good.
yeah, I do like that stuff. It's been fun to play around with the power on the Peloton. But
Hmm.
yeah, might get back into it for my road bike. Just
Mhm.
gotta put out that money. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's fun,
yeah, it's an
especially
investment. Yeah,
especially with the
yeah.
Strava. It keeps track of your power on efforts and
Hmm.
yeah, I agree. That is fun. I just haven't
Yeah.
made that leap again once I had that bad experience with that other power meter.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. All right. Well, I think that's a wrap, everybody. I mean, we got our lentil quinoa power salad. Do you guys like that name? Does that sound okay? Lentil quinoa power salad, or does that sound
I do.
cheesy?
I do.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Sounds
You made that
okay.
up?
All right. So we'll work on
Yeah.
that
She
one.
made it up. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So Dr. Lee, thank you so much for
Yeah.
joining us on Cook and Chat Girls Night In. You're such a
Thank you.
sport.
Oh,
Yes.
thanks. This was fun.
Yeah, so look him up, y'all. Dr. Herbivore. He's got some great events coming up, so check him out. And thanks everybody for tuning in, and those watching on the replay. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, and
And
everyone on Facebook is sending hearts and everything, guys. So yeah.
oh, thanks, y'all. All right, and we'll be back next month for another cook and chat, and we'll see y'all then.
All
All
right,
right,
guys.
thanks.
All
Bye.
right.